I want to demonstrate the difference between interacting with the Python shell and creating and running a program. And for this example, I'm just going to go through printing the area of a circle, which is a fairly easy example to work with. If I'm just interacting with the Python shell, the most straightforward way of doing it is something like this. I'm going to have a circle, and let's say I'm going to have a radius of 10, and I know that the area of a circle is equal to the radius times itself times pi, which we'll use 3.14 for pi, and then print the area. Okay, that's kind of cool. If I had another circle that I wanted to figure out the radius to, I'd just do this whole thing over again. I'd say radius equals 5, area equals radius times 3.14, and then print the area. Okay, so that can do that part fairly easily. It's going to get pretty tedious quickly if I have to do this more than twice. If I have to figure out the area for 5 or 6 circles, it's going to start to get a little bit boring doing all of this over and over again. So one way I can make this faster is I can create a function. I can do that right within the Python shell itself like this. I'm going to define a function, so we'll start off with the keyword def, D-E-F, and I'm going to call this one print area, and it's going to have one parameter that I'm going to call rad. Okay, parameter is the information that is supplied to function when that function is run. So the only thing I'm going to supply as information to this function is going to be a number, whatever I want it to be. Okay. Colon shows that the next code block is going to be for the actual steps in that function, and I'm going to say that the area is equal to rad times 3.14, and I'm going to have it print out, or I'll have it print out a little message with that the area of the circle is, and a comma. And when I'm done my function, I've defined it there, and I'm just going to press enter again, and it brings up the prompt so that I know that the Python interpreter or the Python shell is waiting for me to type something in. So I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to say print area 12. The area of the circle is 452.16. Okay, I can do this another way. I can say that diameter equals 19, and I can print the area of, now the radius of a circle is the diameter divided by 2, so I can do that here. I can say diameter divided by 2. I can use that as my value in the function call, and it will calculate diameter divided by 2 before it sends that value off to the print area function. And so I'll get an answer from that like this. And I can do something like, I can say radius is equal to 5.5 and print area with a given radius, and it prints off the area of that circle. Okay, that's for interacting with the Python shell, and I can define a function that means that I don't have to type in that calculation over and over again. But there's another way that I can extend this even further. And the reason I might want to do this is if I had to be doing the same calculations today and tomorrow and the day after that, instead of having to type in that function for print area every time I open Python, I can store that in a program so that I don't have to type those instructions in over and over again. When I run the program, it executes those instructions as they're written out in the program. So I'm going to open up a new window under the File menu, New Window, and I'm going to start creating a program that will calculate the area of a circle for me. So first of all, I'm going to start again with a function called print area, and I'm going to say that the parameter there is called rad. Area is equal to rad times 3.14. Print, and the same thing here, the area of the circle is, area, or I'll type area in after that. And I enter a couple of extra lines there and then backspace to bring it aligned over to the left hand side again. So I'm going to just do this in sort of a batch scripty kind of way. So I'm going to say print area, and I'm going to just do a series of radiuses here, and one more. Okay, I need to save this, and I'm going to save this up to the desktop on mine. I'll just call this circle.py. I've already got one there, so I'll replace it. Okay, and when I run this, okay, it shows up down here in the Python shell, and it gives me the area of the circle is 3.14, 12.56, 28.26, 50.24. That's for circles with a radius of 1, 2, 3, and 4 respectively. I can also make this interactive so that it asks for input from the user. And I'll just change this part here, and I'm going to say radius is equal to, and I'm going to get some input from the user, and I'm going to say that is the radius of the circle, and that's going to be my prompt for the input. Print area with that given radius. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to run this one now, and I'm looking at right down here. That's the part where the program is happening. What is the radius of the circle? I'm going to say it's 10, and it tells me that the area of the circle is 314. So I've done the same thing in 3 different ways. First of all, I did that directly in the Python shell. And then, to make things easier on myself, I defined a function called print area within the Python shell, and I just called that a few times with different radiuses, and that gave me the answers for that. And then finally, I went one step farther, and I wrote out a series of steps that would calculate the area of a circle for me over and over again, and I saved this in a file called circle.py, and that way all those steps are saved for me. I don't have to type those in to the Python shell every time I start the program. So, and in this case I defined a function called print area, and then I got input from the user, and I printed out the area of that appropriate radius. When you're handing assignments in, I want this. I want the Python program file. I don't want it to have you send in this where it's the shell Python shell session. I don't need to see that. What I do need to see is, and what I need you to submit is this part, the program file right here.